the enigmatic allure of the elusive butterfly. You see, the butterfly is not so different from those among us who dance through life with a certain careful detachment. Today, dear friends, we shall delve into an intriguing and often misunderstood realm: the hidden reasons avoidants keep you at arm's length. One might imagine it as a grand play staged upon the theater of human emotion, where curtains rise and fall on acts of connection and retreat. Picture, if you will, a grand ballroom. In the center, a couple dances, their movements synchronized yet distant, each step a calculated dance of attachment and avoidance. This is the delicate waltz of the avoidant, a choreography of the heart as intricate as it is perplexing. The avoidant, my dear audience, is the butterfly of our tale, captivating to behold, yet perpetually fluttering just beyond one's grasp. Now one might wonder, why this constant retreat? What hidden forces compel the avoidant to maintain this distance, to keep others at a length that feels safe yet solitary? Allow me to guide you through the corridors of their psyche, where echoes of past experiences reverberate through the chambers of the present. Imagine a child, wide-eyed and hopeful, reaching out for warmth and comfort, only to find that these desires were met with inconsistency. Perhaps in their formative years, the pillars of safety were unsteady, crumbling under the weight of unpredictability. It is here, in this delicate crucible of childhood, that the seeds of avoidance are often sown. The child learns that closeness bears a risk, a vulnerability that may lead to heartache. Thus, they fashion an armor from the very fabric of their fears, a shield that keeps others at bay. Yet, despite this shield, the avoidant is no stranger to longing. Ah, yes, they yearn like any other. They crave connection, yet fear it in equal measure, navigating the precarious tightrope between intimacy and independence. It is a paradox of the heart, a dance of desire and dread that plays out in the grand theater of their lives. Consider for a moment the tale of Edward, a gentleman of refined taste and quiet demeanor. Edward, you see, had mastered the art of appearing present while remaining emotionally distant. He was the quintessential avoidant, a connoisseur of the emotional arm's length. In his youth, Edward learned that vulnerability was a dangerous game, one best played with utmost caution. His parents, though well-meaning, had been inconsistent in their affections, their own struggles casting long shadows over his formative years. And so, Edward grew into a man who valued his freedom above all else. Relationships were to him like a delicate balancing act, a push and pull between the desire for closeness and the fear of being overwhelmed. He would engage in the dance of courtship with a partner, only to retreat when the music of intimacy played too loudly. It was, for Edward, an endless cycle of approach and withdrawal, a pattern as familiar as it was frustrating. Now I must pause to highlight the complexity of this condition. It is not that the avoidant lacks love or the capacity to love. Quite the contrary, they often possess a wellspring of affection, one that is guarded by the walls they have built. They are, in essence, protectors of their own vulnerability, fearing that to let another in is to risk unearthing the ghosts of the past. But let us return to our story of Edward. It was during one particularly poignant autumn, when the leaves turned to brilliant shades of gold and crimson, that Edward met Margaret. Margaret was a woman of warmth and empathy, one who saw through the cracks in Edward's armor. She too had danced with her own shadows, yet her steps were guided by a resilience born of understanding. Margaret understood the language of avoidance, not because she had read it in books, but because she had lived it. Her own journey had been fraught with similar patterns, a dance of fear and longing that mirrored Edward's own. But Margaret had learned the power of patience, of gentle persistence in the face of distance. Their relationship was a tapestry woven with moments of connection and retreat. Margaret, with her quiet strength, allowed Edward the space he needed, yet never wavered in her presence. She understood that the path to intimacy with an avoidant is not a sprint, but a marathon. It requires a delicate balance of persistence and patience, an understanding that the walls of fear cannot be torn down by force, but must be gently dismantled, brick by brick. In time, Edward began to see that Margaret's love was not a threat, but a refuge. Her unwavering presence became a beacon, guiding him through the labyrinth of his own fears. He learned that vulnerability, once perceived as a weakness, could be a source of profound strength. It was a revelation that altered the course of his life, a testament to the transformative power of connection. And so, dear friends, we return to the grand ballroom, where the dance of attachment and avoidance continues. It is a dance fraught with challenges, yet rich with the potential for growth and healing. The avoidant may keep you at arm's length, but within that distance lies an opportunity, a chance to understand, to empathize, and to connect on a deeper level. As we draw our tale to a close, let us remember that the journey of an avoidant is not one of solitude, but of discovery. It is a path that invites us to look beyond the surface, to see the hidden reasons that shape their actions. By embracing this understanding, we open the door to compassion, to a love that transcends fear and transforms hearts. And so the curtains fall on our tale, but the story continues. The dance of the avoidant is not a solitary one. It is a dance that invites us all to participate, to learn, and to grow together. Let us step onto the floor with grace, with empathy, and with the knowledge that every step brings us closer to the heart of the elusive butterfly.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.